Welcome to 1970. It's official. I'm 2 years old. Let's drink to that. That's what you did down Westcliff. You're 2 years old now, son. Get some rum down your neck. Hey, bye, Jingle. That's a cheeky number. Thanks for that, Dan. 1970. America are still at war with, anybody really. Anybody who doesn't agree with them or have profitable minerals or just generally don't agree with their capitalist consumer-driven ideology. Or just get in their way, because it's America, isn't it? Anyway, let's not get into politics. 1970 in sports. If you remember last year, Tony Jacklin won the Open. Well, he only went and won the US Open, did he? Yeah, went over there, beat all the Americans, brought it back to Scunny. Cheers, easy. Well done, Tony. It's Tony Jacklin. He's one of our own. Brazil won the World Cup. They might win this one this week, who knows? The World Cup was held in Mexico in 1970, even though, if you do your research, Mexico at the time was run by a militia-run dictatorship. Now, how did FIFA let that happen? Bribery? No. Really? No. Well, thank heavens it's never happened again since then that the World Cup was allowed at a dictatorship, apart from when it went to Russia. Yeah. And currently Qatar. But apart from them three occasions, FIFA model. Anyway, back to the point. First Division champions were Everton, probably the last time they won anything. Chelsea cheated the fantastic Leeds United, everybody's favourite, to win the FA Cup in a replay. Now get this one, Martin Peters became the first ever £200,000 player when he went from West Ham to Tottenham. Yeah, 200 grand, wow. Joe Frazier become the first ever man to beat Muhammad Ali in a professional fight. But I think Ali came back and I think he come back and beat him actually. Yeah. Not much into boxing, but that does ring a bell somewhere. On TV, again, I'm going to give you 4 TV themes for you to guess. And I'll tell you what they are at the end. So if you're sitting comfortably, they're pretty easy this week. So have a listen to these and have a guess which TV shows these 4 themes come from. Are you ready? Here's the first one. Yep. Second one. I remember this. Third one. Doddle this one. Have a listen.
Think of all the animals you've ever heard about, like rhinoceroses
That
and
was one of my
tigers, cats, and
favourites,
mink.
that. And the fourth one. Absolute classic. Have a listen. Alrighty, I'll tell you what they are at the end there, but they were pretty simple from this year. They were all firsts, okay? They were all the first time they'd been on UK TV. Films. The big blockbusters of 1970 were The Railway Children. Yeah, that little timeless classic. MASH, the movie from the TV series, MASH the movie. I reckon I should do that, Maybe that might be a special sometime, MASH the movie. But who would play me? It's a thought, isn't it? Who would play me? There's another MASH, but he wouldn't be able to play me because he's a lot older than me and very angry most of the time as well. But he has every right to be because he's got a family. Cheers, Wonky. And the big blockbuster was The Love Story. We all like a love story, don't we? Yeah, I like it when they die in the end. But that's just me. Music, 1970. Big year. Paul McCartney, okay, publicly announced that he was leaving the Beatles. No. Yeah. Wonder if he did that. Toss pop. Mungo Jerry in the Summertime was the big hit of the year. Now there's a line in this song which I don't even think was acceptable even in the 70s. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. Yeah, cracking idea, Mungo, you fucking idiot. Shall I? All right, so I kill a load on the way. Unbelievable. The Isle of Wight Festival, which we briefly touched on, was at East Afton Farm. Now, the first time it was on, there was only 12,000 people. This year, 1970, 600,000 people attended. To give you an idea of how many, roughly 600,000 people, that's pretty much what Leeds United take to away games every week. Yeah, and that's without fan-based buses as well. 600,000 people attended. Artists this particular year were Jimi Hendrix, The Who, The Doors, one of my favourites, and love The Doors. Put The Doors on, sounds like it's been made today. Fantastic. And Emerson, Lake and Palmer, disappearing up their own arse with progressive rock. Eurovision was won by Dana. All kinds of everything remind me of you. Yeah, all right, Dana. Christmas number one was hailing from Wales. Very underprivileged. Not underprivileged, no, it's wrong. Not appreciated his actual input in the world of music. Dave Edmunds from Wales. Dave Edmunds was Christmas number one with the old Fritzl family favourite, I Hear You Knocking. Alrighty, whilst we're on music, let me just give the old clacker a bit of a wet. God, I do like rum. So while we're on it, I'm going to sing you a song, quite a long one this, but a brilliant tune. Okay? Have a listen to this, and I'll be back in a bit. And we might talk about it, because it's quite an impressive song. All right. Catch you in 5. Have a good listen, and enjoy. Pour yourself a drink. Come on. It's about 5 minutes long, this. See you in a bit. In New Orleans, they call the rising sun, and it's built the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I won't. My mother was a tailor, sewed my new blue jeans. My daddy was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a tongue. And the only time you know that he's satisfied is when he's all on the drum. mama, oh, tell your children not to do what I have done. And spend your life in pain and misery in the house of the rising sun. I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. Well, I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. Lord, I know I'm one, yeah. Lord, I know I won't. Lord, I know I won't. Lord, I know I won't. 3, 2, 1, back in the room. How good was that? Hey, House of the Rising Sun. What a phenomenal tune. Reading a bit up on it today, the Animals went in the studio. They did that song in one take. From start to finish, it took 15 minutes. That would never happen again. Take one. There is a house in New Orleans. 5 minutes later. Yeah, that'll do, I think. Wow. You can't imagine the song being any better than the initial recording. So happy days. But in band wranglings, just because there was about five members or so in the Animals, Alan Price got his name put down first because he did the arrangement on his keyboard. So they just says, oh, leave it at that. Don't bother putting all the names down. So Alan Price got all the royalties. To this fucking day, Eric Burdon, the singer, didn't get diddly squat. Yeah, not an happy bunny. Alan Price, still milking it. It happens anyway. Also, 1970 was the first ever Glastonbury Festival. Now, the first ever Glastonbury Festival was opened the day after Jimi Hendrix died. Yeah, as I mentioned, Jimmy played at Isle of Wight, but he died the day before Glastonbury. But the admission, alright, get this, the admission for the first ever Glastonbury Festival, bearing in mind how fucking expensive it is now to see shit like Jay-Z, the cost to get in 1970 was £1. Now I thought, to be honest, that's quite steep, but it included free camping and free milk, and milk's brilliant. So for a quid. And who was headline? I'll tell you who was headline. Mark Bolan with T-Rex. And looking down, there wasn't that many acts on, but surprisingly, I've just learnt this, lower in the pecking order was Scunthorpe's own The Amazing Blondell. Yeah, very good. I've got a CD somewhere of Amazing Blondell with Paul Kossoff out of Free playing a song called, I think it was Hole in the Head. So yeah, you might remember Terry Wincott used to be the manager at the Baths back in the late 70s, 80s. and he was in The Amazing Blondell with Eddie Baird and a few others. So that's bloody brilliant, that. And 1,500 people attended the first ever Glastonbury. And now, what is it? I don't know. I've never been. I just don't fancy got to say, oh, do you want a ticket to come to Glastonbury Mash? Oh, can I? Can I keep in a tent with no showers and be around a load of scruffy bastard students? Yeah, count me in. I'm all right, thanks. The day they put a hotel in the corner, I might nip down. Guarantee only if Jay-Z's not on. Happy birthday. So, what else is occurring? Bikes of this year to come out. The Harley Davidson XR750 for people who like going really slow and walking occasionally when they fucking break down. Big year for the posh birds, this one, because for the rich girls who like giving children to posh blokes, and they live sort of 300 yards away from the school, and they thought, how am I ever going to take my children to school? How's Chardonnay going to get to school with Mason and Brittany? I'll tell you how, love. Here's the first ever Range Rover. The rest is history. And also, for the more safety-cautious, discerning driver, the Hillman Avenger was... yeah, the Hillman Avenger, complete with mahogany dashboard. Beautiful piece of mahogany there, mister. Thank you. Yeah, do you get some driving gloves with that? Of course you do. Hillman Avenger. These were the firsts for 1970. The first ever Page 3 girl. Can you remember them? Latterly, it was people like Sam Fox and Linda Lusardi. Oh, Linda Lusardi, she was a regular in the bank many years ago. That one. It's not breaking news for Linda. No, she knows. I think she knows. Most of us did. What else occurred this year? While we're on the subject of jumbos, the first ever jumbo Boeing landed, the Boeing 747 landed at Heathrow Airport. But get this one, I like this. It was the first ever National Women's Liberation Conference, and it was held in Oxford, all right? The first ever National Women's Liberation Conference. And it was a lovely day. It was. There was plenty of parking because women weren't allowed to drive in 1970. Nah, they should have kept that law, to be honest. So there was a lot of parking spaces for blokes in Oxford that day. And they had a lovely fruit flan and a bit of quiche, all washed down with some, I think it was Thai food. Yeah. And then they tidied up at the end and fucked off back home to make some snap for their husbands. Happy days. I don't know whether it's still going. Who knows? Who knows? Fashion. Turn to the left. Fashion, hot pants and bell-bottom trousers. Yeah, not to be mistaken with flares. Now, commonly still worn in Merseyside, and always have been since slightly a few years after that. The suede miniskirt. Oh yes. There was a fashionable haircut for the lady of 1970, and it was called the layered shag. I'm sure that was the nickname of somebody who used to go to Cocktat years ago. So that was the layered shag. How would you like your hair done today, love? I'd like a layered shag, please. It's your lucky day. Pete, Brian, Terry. The must-have Christmas toy. Now, thankfully, obviously, I was only 2, so I was still playing with my uncles. But it was, I'll show you a picture of it, look. That's it. It is the Nerf ball. For safe play indoors with a ball. Because prior to that, he thought, God, I'd love to play safely indoors with a ball, but I can't, because I've only got marbles and chinas. Whatever can you bring out? Huh? The Nerf ball. Manufacturers stated it couldn't damage lamps windows, or, get this, it couldn't hurt babies. I bet it could if you rammed the fucker in the throat. Oh, it couldn't hurt babies. Whatever. So, a big act had to go through court in 1970 from the Consumer Right Organisation. Yeah, get this. They made Etch-a-Sketch. You know the one where you learn how to do nipples? That was the one. They made Etch-a-Sketch change its front cover from glass to plastic. Oh yeah, they took them to court and made them do it. Obviously, to stop fucktards smashing the brothers over the head with it after 10 minutes, realising it was a shit present anyway. So Etch-a-Sketch went to plastic, thus ruining the planet. Yeah. The Chilean poet Pablo Neruda won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Inventions of this year. One notable. Now, I do remember using these a few years later, and they were absolutely bloody useless. Only a floppy disk, wasn't it? Floppy disk. Couldn't get note on it. But it was brought out that year, and probably we wouldn't have what we've got now were it not for. Yeah. Births of 1970 notable were Naomi Campbell, Warwick Davis, untenable. Simon Pegg, comedy actor, writer. Deaths, obviously the two biggest ones were Jimi Hendrix, and sadly to this day I still listen to a regular, Janis Joplin. She was fantastic. Yeah, love Janis, absolutely. Right, give us a minute, because I'm going to tell you your 4 theme tunes, and also it's time to go visit Joe and Petunia. All right, so grab another drink. I'll be back in a sec. All right, I've got to go get tipped up and get in costume. Get yourself a drink. Nice view up here, Petunia, isn't it? Nice view up here in Dills. Yeah, 'tis Joe. Yeah, 'tis Joe. Oh, what's that sign there? Worn tyres kill. Are our tyres all right, Joe? Joe, are our tyres all right? Yeah, it's a lovely view, isn't it? Joe, are our tyres all right? They're a bit smooth. Oh, well, that's nice, isn't it, Joe? And then it goes down a mountainside. And then the voiceover comes. Worn tyres kill. That was a public information film. Because we're all going to nip up a mountainside, aren't we, in a fucking Hillman Avenger? Maybe should have gone in a Range Rover, Joe. Yeah, with Felicity. So, that's 1970. She's a goner. Bloody good year, though. Bloody good year. So, here's your 4 theme tunes from earlier on, okay? You had The Goodies. Now, I've tried watching it back recently, and I'm a little bit disappointed in myself that I used to laugh at The Goodies, because it is absolute wank. It's just not funny. Nothing in it is funny, apart from maybe the cat on the post office tower. That was about it. It was just shit. And Bill Oddie is still odd. Very odd. So, one of the other theme tunes was Get on Board the Double Deckers. A lot of kids pissing about on a disused bus. Vaguely remember it, because it was running for about 5 or 6 years, I believe. The Pink Panther show. Cracking, that was. Don't know why, it was probably the first cartoon that I kind of got into. The Pink Panther show. And then came along the magic and mayhem that was na 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 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. Yeah, Dear Drooper, the banana splits. It was fucking crackers. It was an explosion of Technicolor, wasn't it? On my mate's telly, because we had black and bleeding white. So I had to go to his house to watch it. Oh, that was a few years later as well. So hey ho, that was 1970. I just need to point out, if anybody gets offended at any of the content, feel free to fuck off and not watch it. All right, I'm just having a laugh. Okay, so we'll catch you later. Oh, got a bit of Jack Grealish going on today, look. We'll catch you later, and yeah, happy birthday to me. I'm 2 years old today. Ta-da! See you in 1971. All right.